Hei alle sammen.
Today we are taking a look at the 2023 Norwegian edition of The Hobbit, illustrated by Tove Jansson, the artist and writer behind the Moomin series. This new edition mirrors the original Swedish design from 1962. Since then, it has been reissued a number of times in different languages, and currently it can be found in Finnish, Danish, and most recently Norwegian. Sadly, there is still no English edition, so I opted for this alternative, since the quality is quite impressive and I get to rekindle my almost completely forgotten knowledge of Norwegian, which I have been learning for a short while during high school. In 1960, the popular Swedish children's author Astrid Lindgren, best known for her Pippi Longstocking series of books, asked Tove Jansson to illustrate the new translation of The Hobbit. In a letter referencing Tove Jansson's 1960 picture book Who Will Comfort Toffel, Astrid Lindgren wrote,
God bless you for Toffel, but who will comfort Astrid if you don't agree to the proposal I'm now going to make to you?
While also calling The Hobbit
the children's book of the century that will live long after we are dead and buried.
The request was obviously accepted with great enthusiasm. This resulted in a good number of illustrations. I've counted 12 full-page pieces, but also many smaller ones, sometimes half-page, sometimes just a little figure. And also each chapter title has its own accompanying illustration, usually modest but quite charming. Tove tried freeing herself from the usual Moomin style, though it seems to me the characters still have a very recognizable Moomin quality. Where the styles diverge, however, is her eagerness to focus on the landscapes instead of the characters, specifically in the larger drawings. Tove described Tolkien's scenery as seductive in its macabre ferocity, forest of living horror, coal-black rivers, moonlit moons with fiery wolves, a whole world of catastrophe I know I can respond to in pictures. So, naturally, the drawings are very effective and fit perfectly with Tolkien's storytelling, which, similar to Tove Jansson's, transcends the narrow confines of children's literature. However, the best-known illustration from this edition is not a landscape. It is the infamous depiction of Gollum as the gigantic and terrifying monster with a wreath on his head, reminiscent of Nykken, a water spirit from Scandinavian mythology. Though the wreath is a recurring object often found on Tove's head on many photographs, so she might have seen part of herself in the violent but playful subterranean creature. Either way, this is one of the various portrayals that infuriated Tolkien, making him realize that he hadn't described Gollum's appearance very well in the book, which he corrected in a later edition, describing him as a small, slimy creature, still leaving room for interpretation, but at least providing some reference to his size. Either way, I really love Tove's Gollum, and in general it's great to see him in all of the different non-English editions, especially since they've mostly been done in the 60s and 70s and remain unaffected by the firmly embedded aesthetic of the movies. The build quality is excellent, sewn with quality cream paper, quarter bound in green cloth and paper-covered boards bearing the designs similar to the original Swedish edition. Instead of the usual maps decorating the end papers, here we have an additional color illustration that was used for the cover of the Finnish edition. The maps are also included, though without the recognizable red ink, on the pages at the front and back of the book. As far as I could see, the 2022 Danish edition looks quite similar in both quality and design, even using the same font on the cover. Well, that would be all for now. Thank you for looking at this beautiful book with me. We can only hope that someday it comes out in English and that it matches the quality of this here edition. See you in the next video, and meanwhile, you can take a look at the Tolkien and Tove Jansson playlists on my channel. Goodbye.